he never made it to the semifinals of IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship in this arena. But I think that now it's time to change it. Suomi, Oletteko valmiita? Number 48, Valtteri Pustinen. And number 57, Arttu Hyöry. Acts coach of Team Finland and Mr. Jukka Jalonen. The assistant coaches Mikko Manner and Ari-Pekka Sali. Goalkeepers, number 30, Joel Hoffer. Number 50, Jordan Bennington. First line, number 25, Owen Power. Number 55, Colton Parayko. Number 13, Brandon Tanev. Number 17, Jack McBain. And number 18, Dawson Mercer. Second line, number 4, Bowen Byron. Number 24, Jamie 78, Damon Sinierson. Number 38, Raymond Hagel. Number 80, Pierre-Luc Dubois. And number 91, John Tavares. Fourth line, number 3, Owen Zellweger. And also show your appreciation to Team Finland.
Welcome back to Prague. It's day 8 of the 2024 World Hockey Championship, and two superpowers collide. Finland and Canada between them have won the last 4 gold medals at the World Championship. And the last 3 meetings have been in the medal round. Canada won the quarterfinal a year ago, 4-1. Canada comes in with a 4-0 record. The Finns are 2-1-1. The referees for today's game are Sean McFarland from the United States, Andre Schrader from Germany. The lines worked by Emil Glettinen of Sweden and Davis Zundi of Latvia.
Let's introduce today's
49-year-old Andre Tournier behind the Canadian bench said there will be adversity in this tournament. They faced it already, giving up 5 goals in the third period to Austria the other day, but Canada came back with a 4-1 win over Norway on Thursday. And the legend Jukka Jalonen, the 61-year-old, 10th World Championship as a head coach, a gold medalist 3 times behind the Finnish bench. Also the gold medal winner at the 2022 Olympic Games. The Finns have 5 members of the Olympic gold medal team from 2022. 4 members of the Finnish team won gold in both the World Championship and the Olympics that year. Finns lost their last 3-2 to Austria on Thursday, gave up a goal. A 10th of a second left in the third period after blowing a 2-0 lead in that game. And there have been airplanes and trains disgorging Finns all day yesterday and all day today. There are thousands of them here in Prague. Starting a goal for Canada's 30-year-old Jordan Binnington allowed 5 goals on 9 shots in the third period against Austria. Makes his 3rd appearance in the tournament. And Harri Sateri, the gold medal winning goalie for the Finns at the World Championship and the Olympics in 2022, has a .934 save percentage. And away we go. Canada and Finland never dull at any level. Dawson Mercer in the Canadian lineup. Dylan Guenther is a scratch today. As Jack McBean pokes that loose puck. Owen Power can't knock it down. And it's picked out by Pekka Jormaka. 10 Finnish players are making their World Championship debut. A lot of the old guard are gone. The legendary Marko Antila, longtime member of their national team, is not here. GM Jari Lehtinen taking a look at some new players. As that puck squirts back to Jormaka. The shot that goes off a stick into the corner. Olli Mata steps up. He flipped that off the side of the goal. And Jormaka back on it, being watched there by Colton Parayko. And Jack McBain on it. McBain back from last year's team, a gold medalist at the World Championship in Tampere, Finland. Maenalainen back with it. Feeds that back at the point. Mikko Lehtinen shoots. Knocked out by Binnington. Loose puck in front. Scooped up by Brandon Tanev. And Tanev flips it off the glass and back down to the Finnish zone.
An already tasty matchup gets even better knowing that this is when Canada's tournament starts with 3 good teams to finish the round robin. And Finland off that shocking loss to Austria. Particularly focused for this one.
That centering pass just missed Pakarinen. Picked up by Brandon Hagel, can't clear it out. Pakarinen throws that in front for Granlund, that just missed. Now Granlund, the Finnish captain, won gold medals at the World Championship 11 years apart in 2011 and 2022. And there's a quick shot, a deflection score. Jesse Puljujärvi puts it by Binnington, and the Finns have a 1-0 lead, 1 minute and 35 seconds in.
Puljujärvi's having a nice tournament, skating well as he kicks his hips. Where are the Canadian defensemen? There's Severson at the point. There's Cooley at the boards. Who's down in front of the net? Nobody. There is no layers underneath. Riisanen gets his head up. He's passing that puck to Puljujärvi. Binnington makes the save, but he can't corral a rebound on a tip puck right in front of him. Puljujärvi stays with it and shovels to the empty side. Another significant defensive zone coverage breakdown for Canada results in the early goal against.
Puljujärvi played 22 games for Pittsburgh this year, scored 3 times. Spent part of the year in the American Hockey League with Wilkes-Barre, their AHL affiliate. And now brought back in. Oliver Kapanen, the tournament goal scoring leader with 6, is stopped by Binnington.
2 minutes in, Canada hasn't touched the puck just yet. Finland just a little quicker off the gate. So at some point, Tavares is the centerman. Hagel, Dubois, Tavares, they all think the other guy's doing it. Hagel probably realizes it too late that he's the closest one to Puljujärvi and leaves the big Finn wide open in front.
Puljujärvi, a gold medalist at the 2016 World Junior Championship, shoots again, but to the stop. He was the MVP of that tournament, coached by Jukka Jalonen. Chipped ahead by McCann, and Connor Bedard trying to dig that free. And a penalty coming now. And it's going to be a slashing call.
This is something we never see called. When you slash him and you break your stick, not his. Bedard comes over the top with a slashing motion. But we rarely see it when you break your own stick. It's when you break his. And Bedard breaks his own. That is, and I appreciate the logic of that call. It's just not one we see with regularity. It goes from bad to worse for the start. Shot 6-0, score 1-0. Finland to a quick power play on Canada.
Finns are 2 for 12 on the power play of the tournament. Canada's allowed 1 goal on 11 opposition attempts. That's a shorthanded goal by Dylan Cousins. Here's Inla, who has one of those 2 power play goals, along with Oliver Kapanen. Pakarinen back around to Inla. Inola spins that back to Lehtinen. Lehtinen shoots, but it makes the stop through traffic. Hagel up to Cousins, and Cousins moves that by Lehtinen and back down the ice. Mikko Lehtinen played briefly in the NHL for Toronto and Columbus. He came over during the pandemic, so he had been playing but had to quarantine for 2 weeks in a hotel room and just never found his footing in the NHL. Here's Lehtinen back with it. A productive player wherever he's played in Europe. Across to Granlund. Kyle Granlund back in front for Oxenden. He fans on it. Inola a chance. And Binnington got a piece of that. And a move down the ice by Tanev as Oxenden lost his stick, and Lehtinen back to pick it up. Lehtinen an all-star at the 2022 Olympics. Drops it back to Puljujärvi. Yes, to Puljujärvi. Moves out ahead for Billy Sarajärvi. And now move back to Kapanen. Feeds that back at the point to Puustinen. Kaski. Back to Valtteri. Puustinen sends it in front. Kapanen. Back to Kaski. Across he goes to Sarajärvi. Couldn't corral that pass. And Sarajärvi. Back to Kaski. Shoots. It pinballs around in front. Puustinen plays it across, and Sarajärvi fanned on that. Puljujärvi. For Sarajärvi. Back to Kaski. Off the bench came Huru. Played back across. Huru with a chance. Score! Valtteri Puustinen. A power play goal. It's 2-0 Finland.
A relentless start for Finland. Taking advantage. Puustinen late in the penalty. Driving in off the bench, and first one is bumped back to Huru. That is a tremendous touch and tight. As Puustinen missed it once, they get to the second time through. That is seam pass. Alexiak too deep. There's no one in behind him. His stick's not in the passing lane, and
another Pittsburgh Penguins prospect scores. Valtteri Puustinen, pick in 2019, played for Wilkes-Barre this year. That's his first point as a member of the Finnish men's national team, playing in his second World Championship. He won a gold medal with them in 2019 in Vancouver. Shots are 9-0 in favor of Finland, a 2-0 lead. Jaska works in, fires, and Binnington makes a stop on that.
They're wondering how Finland would respond to the loss. Apparently pretty well.
Now move back. Olli Mata takes a look, banks it off the end boards. John Tavares knocked that away. Byram trying to reach for it. Up the side of the goal, picked up by Huru. Arttu Huru walks right in. Binnington down. The loose puck picked up by McCann. He banks it off the glass. And that'll be icing against the Canadians. Canada
just can't get a possession. Every loose puck, every brace is being won by Finland. It allows them to create plays like this. Greg and Alexiak are supposed to be involved with that seam, and Greg has Puustinen skate right in behind him. He gets locked in on the puck. Alexiak slides too deep. And 2-0. Jordan Binnington wondering where's the support. 10-0. Shots are not even 5 minutes into the game.
Thank you for your cooperation.
At this hour, Germany taking on Poland in the Strava, east of here, about 3.5 hours. And back to pick it up is Parayko. That pass misfired from Mangiapane, and now Parayko back for it. Now for Andrew Mangiapane, the MVP of the 2021 World Championship. Dylan Cousins moves in. Cousins back down to Mangiapane. They're two of the 7 Canadians who have won a gold medal at the World Championship before. Cousins comes in, looking for Mangiapane. Cousins trying to work that free. Steps hard into Hannes Bjorninen. Works that free for Mangiapane. Played across by Zellweger to Parayko. That shot was blocked by Manalainen. And the Finns are changing as Manalainen gains center ice and flutters that down to the Canadian zone as Olin Zellweger, the 20-year-old, is back to pick it up. Zellweger forced back by Inola. Moves it for Severson. And Damon Severson Up to center ice. Bedard had that skip away. Granlund chips it ahead. Severson had fallen, but Nick Paul plays it back. Gregg chips that back down to the Finnish zone. Rasmus Riesanen back to pick it up. Here's Oliver Kaski. Puts it back across for Riesanen. And Bedard works in. Bedard flips it back down to the Finnish zone as Gregg comes in. Now Severson shoots. And a rattling puck in front. Bedard couldn't find it. And moved back out by the Finns. Lead pass to Bedard. In comes Connor Bedard with a shot. And Sapri got a piece of that off the end of his stick. Up and out it goes. 2-0 Finland the lead here in the first period.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the official mascots Bob and Bobek, and this is the popularity contest. Pojďme si s maskoty zahrát soutěž popularity. Bude to Bob anebo Bobek, kdo vyhraje ve vašich srdcích. Tady je první z nich, ale tenhle označen Bobkem, který si nežádá aplaus. Cheers for Bobek! Kteří se bíjí o vaši popularitu. A teď už je tam oboje dohromady. Dámy a pánové, ladies and gentlemen, Bob a Bobek!
6.5 minutes in the first period. The shots are 12-2 Finland. The score is 2-0. Later tonight, Czechia will take on Great Britain here in Prague. And that quick shot by Alexiak knocked away. Jamie Alexiak's sister Penny won the freestyle, 100-meter freestyle last night at the Canadian Olympic trials. Canada's most decorated Olympian.
It's a tough family table to sit at.
And there are the goal scorers for the Finns. Brought back out by Sarajärvi. The Pittsburgh general manager Kyle Dubas is a member of the Canadian management group of this World Championship. Out to center ice. Knocked down by Mercer. Looks to McBain. Jack McBain spins that back down to Mercer. Reaching for it was Tanev. Now back at the point. Bowen Byram sends it in. Alexia skates through Antioxidant. Racing up is Brandon Hagel to pick it up. Hagel got to chip that back in front. It's knocked down by Kapanen. Over Kapanen, the 20-year-old second-round pick of Montreal in 2021. 6 goals, no assists so far in the tournament. In comes Tavares. John Tavares, an empty move, walks right in, shoots, and shut down short side. As Santeri got a piece of that. And Owen Power back to pick it up. First overall pick in the 2021 draft. Tavares. Rink wide pass to Dubois. In comes Pierre-Luc Dubois. Long shot that deflected wide off the stick of Huru. Powers in deep. Tavares is backing him up at the point. And Dubois back on it. Dubois trying to knock that free. He's lost his stick. And now it's brought out by Puustinen. Knocked down by Parayko. For Power. Mangiapane. Chips that back ahead. Mangiapane tries to ring that back around. And now picked out by Cousins. Dylan Cousins winds across. Shoots at the flex wide. As he's blocked by Manalainen. Now Bunting sends it in front. Tipped by Mangiapane and swatted away by Santeri. Michael Bunting comes in for it. Cousins poking at it. And now at the point, it's held by Gouli. A long shot tipped wide by Bunting. Mangiapane back down to Michael Bunting. Shields off Vitus-Maki. The puck bounces back in front to Manalainen. And he'll bring that back out. Gouli. Up to Severson. For Cousins, banks it in for Bedard. In comes Connor Bedard, stripped of the puck by Koski. Inola. Back around to Koski for Granlund. Byram stepped up on him, and now Koski back with it for Finland. To Granlund. And Bowen Byram pokes out ahead for Bedard, chips it back to Paul. And Nick Paul sweeps it back down to the finish zone. Big hit by Paul in the corner on Risanen. And at the line, Bedard couldn't knock that down. In comes Pekarinen. Shoots, that floats high. And a chance the other way for Canada with numbers. Nick Paul winds in, chips that back across. Now racing up is Alexiak. Moved by him, but Tanev had it skipped over his stick, and Bedard is the last man back for Canada. Shovels that back for Byram. Midway point of the opening period.
Canada working their way back into the first period now, finding their skating legs a little better. Time in the offensive zone.
Riikola back, Tanev stepped into him. And here's Puljujärvi with it. Up ahead to Oksanen. And Oksanen chops at that, it floats wide, and Puljujärvi on it, but it's picked free by McBain. Jack McBain flips it ahead to Owen Power, jumping in. Power for the trailer Parayko. And Parayko sweeps that down to Mercer. Back in front, McBain with a chance, turned away by Sattery. Parayko up ahead for Hagel. With Morinville, Alberta. And that's swatted away, and back to pick it up is Damon Severson. Gooley. Up for Dubois, Sattery out to play it. And it's bumped back to center ice where Caden Gooley is back to pick it up, being watched by Hudu. Out to center ice to Tavares, back across for Severson, that's poked away. And Tavares up for Dubois. In comes Dubois with Hagel. Pierre-Luc Dubois loose in the corner now, Dubois. Spins back in the corner, Dubois feeds that back to Cousins, he misfires on it. Hudu back with Puustinen. Brought ahead by Lehtinen. Played back around, Severson waiting for it. Damon Severson for Cousins. Quick pass ahead was bumped away from Gooley, who sweeps it back down to the finish zone. Alexiak's discarded stick is still out there. And now Hudu picks it up for the Finns. Drops it off, and with a step in comes Jormaka. Throws it back in front, it's off the skate of Mangiapane. Bunting back around for Mangiapane. And Cousins backhands that back down to the finish zone. Jormaka dumped at center ice by Bunting, and Byram back to pick it up. Bedard comes back on as Binnington leaves that for Alexiak. Pass ahead to Bunting, he was trying to chip it across. That pass broken up and sent back down to the Canadian zone. It'll be icing against the Finns.
So it's been a game of runs. The first 12 shots to Finland, the last 6 to Canada as John Tavares goes coast to coast. Little stop and go. To get Mada to pull up and drag it back through. Beautifully done. He's trying to go short side on Sattery, and Sattery just keeps his shoulder high up. That is a beautiful one-on-one move. Finding some space, which is hard to do against Finland. Canada just has to keep going like this. It's not going to be easy. They won't give you a big chance. You have to grind to get to the front of the net.
There's Power.
Get out of the way.
Now the linesman getting Bedard's waiting on an earful from Connor Bedard. In comes Risanen and works it in. Shoots, Binnington save. Loose puck in front. Knocked away by McCann. And Jared McCann back on it. That's picked up by Inola again. As this top finish line goes back to work. Risanen places it back down to Inola. Jiri Inola spins back behind the goal. Plays it back across to Granlund, to Puljujärvi at the point. The shot hit Inola, shoots, Binnington save, rebound put wide by Puljujärvi. Chopped at by McCann, who plays that to center ice. And Bedard going after it as Risanen got there first. Here's Puljujärvi with it. Inside 7 to go in the opening period. And Jasper Matala has it back for the Finns. Matala, former Boston College Eagle. As Kapanen picks it back up. And it's scooped up by Severson. Severson lays that ahead, trying to find Tanev. That's broken up by Matala. And Oksanen back the other way for Finland. Rink wide pass. Ticked away. by McBean. And the puck was played with a high stick. 6:26 to go here in the opening period. Finland leads Canada 2-0.
Latino brings in the official thing that look, we give you a taste. Try with us and also with our virtual nerd. Witness the passion, the skill, and the legendary list. With a great smile, be lipstick for your cheering face. Now you're stepping into our virtual nerd. Hello! Choose your course as you like. This is Latina, the beauty of hockey. Step into our virtual arena, Latina, and find your new yourself. Latina, you didn't scores. And gentlemen, don't worry. Latina also brings products for you. Yes, for you. Latina, beauty that scores. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time.
6.5 to go here in the opening period. The Finns an early 2-0 lead on Canada. Scored twice in the first 4 minutes. Had the first 12 shots of the game.
Canada took 7 minutes to get going in this game, and they've been the better team since. In the tournament, Finland has only given up 4 goals against. Or 4 goals against the whole tournament, so you're going to be hard-pressed to get much more than 3.
And none in the first period. Lead pass off the inboards to Hagel. And they're going to call that icing. Hagel takes a shot from Sarajärvi after taking that shot.
That wouldn't be icing, that would be offside.
Yes, had to be.
Because there's obviously no one near Hagel on the ice. Maybe he got a little too excited across the blue line before the puck did, but the whistle didn't go before the shot towards the net. Let's see where Hagel is. Yeah. And because it was all the way from the other side of the blue line, the faceoff will come all the way back down to Toronto's end. It won't be an icing. You can change if you want because it's offside, not icing. Not a bad idea to send a flyer. Stack up the neutral zone like that.
Saw that work for an overtime winner in the Boston-Toronto series in Game 7, and the man who scored it, David Pastrnak, was knocked out last night. Lots of talk whether or not he will come here. Martin Necas of Carolina is here. Pastrnak, Pavel Zacha, 2-star Czech players. Off the draw, that shot deflected away. Off the stick of Riikola. Tuodo back on it as Alexiak steps into him. And again, Bowen Byron with no stick. Posted and plays it back across. And here is Riikola with it. Back at the point. Sarajärvi walks in and shoots. That's deflected away by Hagel. And the puck moved back out to the finish zone as Sarajärvi goes back. Billy Sarajärvi, a Chicago third-round pick, spent 3 years in the Ontario League as Manalainen plays that rink wide. Kamika shoots, Binnington the stop. And Mata bumped there by Cousins. Now back behind the goal. Here's Power with it. Owen Power. Gains center ice and flips that down to the Finnish zone as Mangiapane goes after it. Works it free, throws it back in front. Dylan Cousins scores! And just like that, Canada's back in it. Another goal for Dylan Cousins, his 4th of the tournament.
There's the first goal in the first period, given up by Finland, and it's a big one for Dylan Cousins. A nice job by Owen Power to move his feet on the breakout. Just keep it going so we can dump it in, and then Mangiapane goes to work. The CEO, Chief Energizing Officer, apparently that's what Andre Tournier calls him, knocks Matila off the puck and then gets it out in front. The integrity of the net still true. The posts stay in their pegs, even though the net was tipped over as Mata crashed at the back of it. And Cousins was able to shovel it well inside the post to get Canada on the board and right back in the game.
Dylan Cousins just scores for Canada. 18 goals in 22 career games at the World Junior and the World Championship. So now a 1-goal lead for the Finns with 5 to go here in the opening period. In comes Connor Bedard, who's done some scoring for Canada himself over the years. 35 goals in 31 career games for Canada. And Bedard swats at that, knocked down by Lehtinen. Looked back out by Paul, looking ahead for McCann. Canada's 5th game of the tournament, and safe to say Andre Tournier is still tinkering with lines to figure what works.
Well, trying to find a winger to play with Bedard and Paul. They've had Bunting, they've had Gunther, who's not playing tonight. And it's supposed to be Jared McCann. They're having a hard time getting a normal rotation going.
There's McBain with it. Jack McBain threw that back for Byron, but the pass misfired. And back is Alexiuk to pick it up. Alexiuk looks ahead for Tanev, who chips that back down to the Finnish zone. Here's Oksanen with it. Out the Oksanen. Played 4 years at BU. It's amazing how many Finns have chosen the college route of late. That lead pass for Tanev was just over his head. In comes Oksanen with Canada changing. Oksanen trying a slap pass there for Kapanen, who's I mentioned scored 6 times, a lot on deflections. Now Canada busts out 2-on-1. Tavares back up for Tanev with a chance. Sathari.
He was in the net. The puck was right on the line.
And Tanev thinks he scored.
I don't know. We had a great view from it up here. They'll take a look at it to see if the puck. It was right on the goal line.
The officials are conferring. There's Steve Ott on the right, being an assistant coach.
And we'll have to take a look. They're telling them going down the bench as though they scored.
So we'll take a look at this to see if it crossed the line.
It's a lot like the goal Tanev scored in their game. Good patient by Tavares, who's been skating well. Gets it across. First chance, second chance. There you see the left pad flash out by Sathari. Oh, yes!
It's in. He knocked it in himself.
He put it in his own net. He stopped it, and then it was the own stick that knocked it back towards the net right here. Oh, yeah.
Wow, it just trickles across the line.
That last look conclusive enough. That will count. Didn't take long. Wow, what a break. What a rally by Canada to get it back to 2-2 before the end of the period.
Here's referee Andre Schrader with the call.
After reviewing the play, it is determined that the puck completely crossed the goal line. Therefore, we have a goal.
And Brandon Tanev has his second in as many games for Canada.
Tavares jumps off the bench, creates the turnover on the wall, and leads the rush. Moving your feet, being aware of what's going on the bench, and get right into the game. Key and Tanev, stick, skate, whatever, and then Sathari. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
He's trying to cover it, but Tanev will take it all day long.
Tanev is famous for his headshots in the NHL. His pictures always, his eyes are bugged out. Eagle eyes there to see that cross the line. He called it right away.
He did. Sometimes you sort of celebrate hoping, but he seemed pretty confident that one was going to stick.
And so 2-2 the score.
Tale of 2 periods this.
These two teams at any level are incapable of playing an uninteresting game. They just can't. Tavares throws that back in front, trying to find Dubois with it. And Pierre-Luc Dubois spins along the boards. They split the last 4 gold medals in this tournament. Finns champions in 19 and 22. Canada in 21 and 23. There was no World Championship held in 2020. The IIHF was one of the few sports organizations in the world, them and the All England Club in London with Wimbledon, that had pandemic insurance. And Michael Bunting with a thing or two to say. Canada's got some new life, now tied at 2 here in the first.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want a shirt? Once again, do you want a shirt? Next member, let's shoot!
2:47 to go here. Dylan Cousins has scored again for Canada, his 4th in the tournament.
Starting to mix lines to get guys out there for defensive zone faceoffs. They call the lefty.
Goals in 4 straight for Cousins in the tournament. Couple even strength, power play, and shorthanded. Bouncing puck, moved in from Mangiapane. He's knocked into the Finnish net. And the faceoff's going to come outside. Mangiapane doesn't like the call. He thought he was knocked in.
Mangiapane going to work. He already created the first goal by Cousins on the forecheck, moving his feet, being physical, and then Tanev rebound. Karam put in by Satri to tie the game up.
Tanev's brother Chris advanced to the conference final last night with Dallas, won a gold medal in this tournament in 2016. This is Brandon Tanev's first appearance for Canada at an IIHF event.
Brandon's saying it's been hard to stay up late at night. Some of Chris's games starting 3, 4 in the morning here.
In comes Cousins on it with Bunting. Move back around, and Mangiapane set part into Mata. 4 Canadians along the far side boards, and now picked out by Jesper Matala.
There's the scrape the helmet penalty coming to Mata. We've seen this time and again.
Yeah, knocked the helmet off Mangiapane. You have to leave the ice as soon as your helmet comes off. So the officials are very wary of the deliberate knocking off the helmet. And they call it roughing. Connor Bedard was called for it last game for Canada.
Yeah, shove the back of the helmet, know what's coming off. Absolutely, correct call. And they've been quite consistent with it, so you should know at this point, because there is a zero tolerance policy. If it comes off, you got to go off the ice. So Canada,
even if it's in your hand, you can't put it on. You have to leave the ice.
Canada the power play, 2 for 13.
It's only the 6th time Finland's been short-handed in 5 games. There's not a lot of power play goal yet. Paul, Cousins, Mangiapane, and Tavares are the forwards. The Finns won the face-off, and it's sent down the ice. And Bowen Byram, the defenseman, on this Canadian power play. Binnington back around to Tavares. And now Byram lost it, picked up by Manalainen. Manalainen throws it back in front. And the puck goes back to center ice. And here is Byram with it. Byram steps through this aggressive Finnish penalty-killing unit. Cousins played it back across, and the puck goes over the glass and out. And the face-off will stay in the Finnish end. 1:35 to go in the period, 1:23 to go in the power play.
All right, been very aggressive as you see some of the Canadian family and friends start trickling in.
Yeah.
1 week or so left in the tournament.
Incentive for Canada to win out here is that they would stay here in Prague. The Czechs will play their quarterfinal here no matter what. As that faceoff is won by Tavares. Back to Byram. Byram shoots, but just wide. Tavares, by the way, the #1 faceoff man of the tournament at 81%. And battling for it at the blue line. Tavares slides that down to Mangiapane. Across he goes to Cousins with a quick shot. And Satri makes the save on that. Picked free by Mangiapane. Back to Cousins with Paul parked in front. Cousins shoots. That's off the stick of Satri and wide. Inside a minute to go on the power play, and Hudu sends it down.
Good idea. Good patience by Tavares to get to the middle of the ice. Pass just a little bit in front of Cousins' sweet spot, so he couldn't get him all the way up top corner.
Dubois for Bunting. Bedard in this power play unit as well. Along with McCann, feeds that back to Zellweger. McCann slides it down to Dubois and rolled off his stick, and it's moved back to center ice.
That is there all day long for Dubois to take it to the net hard.
And now Bedard winds it across the line, drops that back to Bunting. Bedard wins it back. Connor Bedard works it and shoots. That deflects away off the stick of Riikola. Picked up by McCann. Final seconds of the power play. McCann drops it down. Bunting walks right out, feeds it back to McCann. Satri's down the jam away side of the goal. Satri's out of the net. McCann plays it rink wide. Final seconds now of the period. Zellweger has a look, shoots towards the goal. That goes off a stick and high off the glass. A great look for Canada in the dying second of the power play. Bedard was dumped there by Riisanen, and that'll draw a crowd at the end of the period.
Jumping in there for Bedard, who took a bit of a rough ride as time expired. Good chance here. Patience by Michael Bunting. Back to McCann. He's just trying to find it. Place to shoot it, just finds the side of the net. Couldn't quite create the angle necessary. Looks like he might have had something available short side. Just gets a piece of Riikola's stick to push it wide. As Canada will be pretty pleased to get out of this period tied at 2. Here's the little collision, not much there. At the end of the time expired. Canada will be pleased after being down 2-0 to get out of the first period back tied.
Finn scored twice in the first 4 minutes, Canada twice in the last 6 minutes. It's 2-2 tie after 20 minutes.
Finland -2, Team Finland, 2+6, 2-minute penalty for Finland at 7-0.
with a great smile, be lipstick for your cheering face. Now you're stepping into our virtual mirror. Hello!
After reviewing the play, it is determined that the puck completely crossed the goal line. Therefore, we have a goal.
Both teams are scored after the first period. Canada 2, Finland 2. Stopping down, open 6.
Boys, going in first. Have a good one. Stage is yours. Let's go. Move. Hands off. Hands off. Good. Stay on. Stay on. Good. Puck. Puck. Loose. I got two! Hey! I got white! Hey! I got him! Two is going, good, I got him! Okay, let him go! Let him go! I got him and only him! Hey! Boys, we're good! I got it! Hey!
Fantastický zápas mezi Kanadou a Finskem rozhodně reprízuje finále z poslední. Well, we're looking definitely forward to see you next year in Denmark and also in Sweden, where the IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship will take part. But the Prague's Sweden session is not over yet. It's only Saturday, and there is game 40 also being played in Ostrava Arena. It's packed in a while because Poland is in the building. A classic game, Germany against Poland, scoreless after the first period. So we have probably a better game because 4 goals were already scored here in Prague Arena. A classic game, Canada, Finland 2-all. And we're going to check the highlights of a thrilling first period. And now, show your appreciation also to Team Finland.
Jordan Binnington was under siege early on. The Finns had the first 12 shots in the game, scored twice. But he steadied the ship, and then Canada beat Harry Santeri twice late in that period. It's a 2-2 tie after 20 minutes of play here in Prague in the second of 3 games here today. See Connor Bedard, who is so prolific for Canada, 35 goals in 31 games at the under-18s, the World Junior and the World Championship. Dylan Cousins is not far behind. Take into account all levels of competition, Cousins is 25 goals in 34 games played.
Canada's going to start the period on the power play.
Here we go, boys. Weight down first. Weight down and set. Here we go. Down. Oh, you. Down. Set.
Riisanen got a roughing penalty on Connor Bedard at the end of that first period. And so Canada is on the power play. And it's picked up by Bjorninen.
Canada wasting time on the power play. A couple times where this not getting possession when they have clean breakouts. Wasting 20, 30 seconds.
And Alainen works that 3. He looked like a surefire NHL player. He led the 2014 World Junior Championship in goals. He was a pick by Nashville. Great pick guy. Bedard trying to drop that back. It's picked off by Juha Jaska, who sends it back down to the Canadian zone. And back goes Zellweger for it.
There we go again.
Yeah. Kudu picked that off and feeds that back to Vinismaki. Here is Zellweger, who doesn't play a ton, but does run the power play. Zellweger just 1:39 of ice time in that opening period. McCann plays it back around for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois back for McCann. Slapped at by Matala at the line, helped by Tavares. Picked out by Bunting. Wanting it with Bedard and Mangiapane. That pass went astray. And back goes Byram to pick it up. 30 seconds to go in this Canadian power play. Bowen Byram with the drop for Cousins with a head of steam. In comes Dylan Cousins. Paul with it. Drops it back to Byram. Down to Cousins. Cousins back to Byram. And in comes Cousins, walks in and shoots, and Sathary makes the stop.
It took about a minute for Canada to kind of get their bearings on the power play with some of the loose play on the breakouts. See Dylan Cousins grabs a puck, puts it down to the net. Got that shooter's mentality. 2, 3, 4 shots per game at net. Good things will happen.
Please return to the closest steward. You will receive an official game puck in return.
And Tavares in for the faceoff. Wins another one. Back to Byram. Bowen Byram shoots, goes off the end boards, bounces right back in front, knocked away by Riikola. Brought up by Tavares, final seconds of the power play. Rolled wide for Mangiapane. He takes down Mata. Finns hollering for a penalty. As Cousins plays that back for Tavares, shoots! And that was blocked by Pakarinen.
Mangiapane just clipped Sathary.
At the line, Power plays that down to Tavares. Cousins makes his way off as Canada makes a full change in the offensive zone. Power seals the wall as Pakarinen goes back to pick it up. Riikola, rink wide pass to Olli Mata. Shoots, and Binnington makes a stop on that.
Mangiapane in the middle of a couple close calls. As first he gets his stick, and there's the shove from Mata into Sathary, who sells the heck out of it. But if you don't want guys to hit your goalie, guess what? Don't push them into your goalie. Like, come on. And then get mad that they went there. Good eye by the official not to react to the contact.
Kapanen for the face-off against McBain. In addition to being a good goal scorer, Kapanen's been a good face-off man for the Finns in the tournament so far.
For a younger player to be good at the face-off, even more impressive.
A righty. His uncle Sammy was something else, wasn't he? When he retired, there wasn't one drop left of the bucket.
A road runner on skates.
Picked up now by Parayko. Colton Parayko walks in. Parayko, a backhand shot, rolls just wide. Jumping up, McBain to keep that alive. Tanev. Pansariari around. And the puck putters wide of the goal. Vitas Maki goes back for it. Austin Mercer trying to block it. Here's Alexiak on it now. And knocked back to Vitas Maki. And here is Mikko Lehtinen. World junior, world champion, Olympic gold medalist for the Finns. Puljujärvi knocks that back in. Last year, Finland did not win a medal in any of the top-level men's competitions. First time since 2012, and they haven't yet this year. Canada and the United States won all the top 5 men's and women's competitions last year, and they've won the first 4 this year. Centering pass for Paul, that broke his stick. Now stolen back by Bedard. Tried to drop that back. Paul's got a new stick, but Voodoo plays that back down to the Canadian zone as Binnington's out to play it. Toss goes to Greg. And now Puustinen. He scored the second goal for Finland. Knocks that back down to the Canadian zone. Puustinen for Jaska. And back goes Gouli for it. Chip ahead that goes off the foot of Bedard and back out. Puljujärvi. Lead pass to Manalainen, works in, throws it back in front, and just threw that pass in behind. They intended targeting Jormika, but as they did, there's going to be a hooking call against Canada, and the Finns are going to the power play 4.5 minutes into the second period.
Canada, number 8, Minor Bunley, hooking.
Pierre-Luc Dubois on the rush. Good speed by Manalainen. And Dubois gets kind of up by the hands there. After some big, heavy forechecking by Canada. This is how you want to play physical with Finland. Finland's already scored one on the power play. Go back to work. Trying to regain the lead.
Pakarinen plays that back for Lehtinen. Cross he goes to Oksanen. Or Granlund throws that back in front, picked up by Cousins, who sends it down the ice. Cousins makes his way off as Tanev comes on. And Oksanen with it. Back goes Parayko. That long reach rattles that off the glass and back down the ice. And Lehtinen back with it. The 30-year-old won a Swiss League championship with Zurich this year, playing for Mark Crawford. This wins everywhere he goes. Inola throws that back to Lehtinen. Works it in, shoots, the fucking puck goes just wide. That bounced off Severson. Pakarinen back for Lehtinen. Finns are changing. Off the bench comes Inola. Drops that back to Granlund. Or Lehtinen shoots, that went high. Inola shoots again, and the save made by Bennington. Granlund back for Lehtinen. Being shouted there by McBain, plays it back to Granlund. Here's Lehtinen again. Down to Granlund. 45 seconds to go on the power play. That's kicked away by Tanev. And Severson plays that to the sideboards. Granlund tangles there with McBain, but the puck kept alive by Lehtinen. Tanev kicks at it. Worked free by Granlund. Back in the corner to Pakarinen. Pakarinen shoots. Bennington saves, and he swats away the rebound. Lehtinen. Back down to Inola. For Lehtinen. Inola tees it up and shoots. Bennington to stop on that. Granlund back with it. Gooley trying to work that freight. And it's picked up by Severson and rattled back down the ice as Canada gets some tired penalty killers off. Final seconds now of this Finnish power play.
Both teams are playing.
And Dubois steps back on as Puustinen slips it back down the Canadian zone. Puustinen centers it. And picked up by Tavares. Away comes Tavares. The flip pass ahead for Hagel was broken up by Huru. Brought back by Juha Jaska, who signed as a free agent by Carolina in April. And he'll fit right into that dressing room with Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen, Esperi Kotkaniemi, and others. And speaking of that, Martin Necas of the Carolina Hurricanes has arrived in Prague. Will join the Czech team, maybe not in time for their game tonight, but
You could dress him and not play him.
sure.
Or sit him on the bench. They have room.
And now a chance for Jormika. Busting in, penalty coming to Canada as Jormika was working in. And was he
Question
alone?
is, penalty shots.
Nope.
No.
Holding call. And the Finns are going right back to the power play with 7:29 gone here in the second period. It's the 2024 World Hockey Championship in Prague.
And it's time for the start of plan of the game battle. You will decide who will be the winner of this competition. And you will vote through the official IIHF app that is powered by Schneider. You can simply scan the code, download the app, and then vote for the fan of the game. Naskryjte się klery pod sztukę oficjalnie aplikacji IIHF, a złote fanouška či fanenku tohoto zápasu. There will be two candidates, and you're going to through the official IIHF powered by Skoda. And here are our two options. Okay, is it Canada or is it Finland? Come on, Canada, you can do it! Oh, a great combination. But the dancing Finland still in the lead. Do something, Canada, to win the competition. Become the better game. Oh, and it's the
So Finland right back to the power play. Moments after Canada killed off their latest. Parayko gets the holding penalty.
Puck management though, Brandon Hagel, bad pass. Hangs the D out to dry and puts Parayko in a spot where he's got to take a penalty to prevent a breakaway.
Oliver Kapanen, Jiri Inola, and Valtteri Puustinen have the 3 power play goals for Finland in the tournament. Puustinen scored in the first period. Face-off won by McBain, but not cleared out. There's Koski with a shot that was off the stick, up and out.
Parayko and Zellweger coming up on the rush, but the puck is turned over. And Jormaka, who is quick. Parayko was smart to get a grab early on his way by and not let him get clear out behind him and then try to catch him.
They are quick with the penalty shot calls here.
Or grab him on the other side of the red line. You have to be on the offensive side of the red line to get a penalty shot. And tackle him at the blue line before he gets going.
21-13, the shots in favor of Finland, who had a 12-0 advantage to start the game and a 2-0 lead. In comes Kapanen with it. Oliver Kapanen plays that back to Koski. Oliver Koski down to Sarajärvi. That pass is broken up by McBain, who's got some time and slides it back down the ice. Canada gets fresh penalty killers out. 80 seconds to go on the man advantage. Koski across to Sarajärvi. Across he goes to Jesse Puljujärvi. Back at the point is Sarajärvi. Plays it back in. There's Puljujärvi behind the net. Racing to it is Guhle. He collides there with Puustinen. And it's worked back by Kapanen. Bounced away and a chance now. Busting in short-handed. Dawson Mercer with a chance. He's got Southern down. And the puck was very close to squirting in again. And that short-handed dash by Dawson Mercer. We saw that in the first period where Satteri's pad was in the net.
Good speed, and Satteri barely gets across. Oh my, and then he almost puts it in it. Again, he makes the first save. It hits off his blocker, and then again almost knocks in his own net. Goes right up against his toe.
Oh my goodness.
As it's coming back towards the goal line. Satteri makes sure to keep the pads outside the net on that one.
Brandon Tanev scored a goal like that in the first period for Canada. 45 seconds to go in this Finland power play. Eero Pekarinen had that knocked away. Pekarinen spent 4 seasons in the NHL, a part of them with the Edmonton Oilers.
He can shoot it a ton. Heavy, heavy shot.
In comes Granlund. The Finns 5 wide as they break in. Now Granlund with it. Granlund takes the return pass from Inola. It's knocked down, but fed back into the corner. Guhle goes after it, pokes it back around, and Severson has some time. And David Severson, look out! That goes right by the Canadian bench, but down the ice.
I thought that was going to scream right into the bench there.
There's no glass between the benches, so it's kind of wide open down there. Parayko steps back on. 1 shot for the Finns on that power play. And back is Power. Back around for Alexiuk. And that shot bouncing around in front. Huru almost going to stick on that. Mata comes in. Erased by Parayko. And now Alexiuk back with it. Alexiuk up to Hagel. He finds Paul with Canada changing. On comes McCann, a long shot that goes wide. Alexiuk plays that back down to Hagel. He's tied up as Nick Paul works it free. Paul falls. And now McCann to McPaul. Oh, in front, shoots short side. And might have ticked off the outside of the post as Satteri reached back. What a look there for Nick Paul for a go-ahead goal. As Cousins is back to pick it up. Cousins ahead to Power. And Owen Power up for bunting. It bounces back in front. Satteri took care of that. Now Power back with it. Chipped ahead. And Jaska tried to work that free, but back goes Byram to pick it up. Byram back around to Power. Bunting pokes it back. You got a couple of Sabres D tandem out there. And it's forward to Dylan Cousins. In the feet of Byram. He was acquired from Colorado in the Tracy Middlestad trade. Now Cousins up for Bunting. Bunting has a look back, winds it and shoots. Sattleri save, rebound, loose in front, goes back to Parayko. Walks in, feeds it across, centered, and Bunting put that wide.
Good look by McCann. Bunting dribbles off the tip of his stick.
Puljujarvi moves away from Cousins. In comes Jesse Puljujarvi on Parayko. Puljujarvi pivots back, and now here's Byram with it. Stripped for a moment, and now Byram's stick is tied up by Puljujarvi.
Tired group of Canadian defenders.
Puljujarvi has a look back, trying to throw it back in front for Kapanen. It's kicked away by Bennington. And Mangiapane with it. Lifts that into the Finnish bench. The face-off will stay in the Canadian zone, but they can change. 8:17 to go in the second period. Canada and Finland tied at 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the mascots, and they need your cooperation. Let's make the entire arena cheering! So follow our mascots! Thank you!
2-2 the score, 8:17 to go in the second period. In Ostrava, Germany, a 1-0 lead on Poland in the second period. Poland promoted last year. Next year, Hungary and Slovenia will be back in the top division after winning Division 1A. Finns are the defending Olympic champions from Beijing.
One big applause for both women!
Now race to it, Severson knocks that back to center ice. Here's Kaski on it. That's stolen by Hagel. In with Tavares and Dubois. Brandon Hagel picks that back up. Hagel, who's Tampa Bay coach John Cooper, is here now, the head coach of Canada's Olympic team. And here's Dubois with it. Here, Luc Dubois. Tangles there with Granlund. Severson got knocked down. Tavares comes in. And there's Dubois with it. Granlund steps into him. And again, that battle ensues in the corner. That's some big boy hockey down there. Hagel plays that back to Severson. Severson along the boards to Tavares. Lines that rink wide for Gooley. That's knocked away, and Inala back the other way for Finland. And as Jiri Inala works in. Inala plays this
There you
year.
go.
Lead pass for Hagel along with Dubois.
Too tired. We've been out there crashing around for 30 seconds. Exhausted.
Dubois was taken down by Riikola. And that bench must look like it's 2 miles away at this point. Just keep getting further away the closer you get. At the line, picked up by Bedard. And Bedard slammed down by Pecorino.
It's a good hit.
And Mercer comes back, or McCann rather comes back on Pecorino. And it's bounced back down to the Finnish zone, and Sattleri out to play it. Alexiak feeds that down to Bedard. Bedard down to Nick Paul. And here is Paul with it. Paul drops it off. Alexiak works it back in front. That was tipped wide by Tanev. Here's Byram with it. Back down to Alexiak. Lots of traffic. Sends it back in front. And Paul knocked that wide. So this is Paul with Bedard and Tanev now, the forward line. Worked free by Paul. Winds in. Nick Paul trying to thread that back in front for Tanev.
We thought a change. McCann was out. Dubois and Hagel were stuck, so Paul and Bedard didn't get their run.
Now the Finns ice it with 6 to go in the second period.
Here's a chance earlier for McPaul. You said just ticked off the post? Just ticked off the post. That long reach is so tricky for goaltenders. And there's the, oh boy, Bunting, he couldn't spot it through the pile. Would have been a surefire goal. And I know that's from behind, but Bedard back it into Pakarin and nothing at all wrong with that hit.
Finns have to have tired players on the ice now. That face-off won by McBain. Back to Tanev. Goes it back down to Mercer. And bumped back down the line again. Parayko goes back, and icing called again against the Finns.
Andre Tournier taking the offensive zone face-off to get a more offensive line out there. Dylan Cousins bounces out now. This is the third set of forwards this Finnish line has had to play against.
With a face-off back to Power. Owen Power plays that back in for Mangiapane. Bunting in there as well. Picked out by Arttu Huru, who was also signed as a free agent. Dallas grabbed him in April. And Dallas has no shortage of Finns.
It's Finland West, Carolina's Finland East.
Sarajärvi. Up for Riikola. Now Binnington out to play it. Around to Parayko. Snaps that pass ahead for Bunting. It rolled off his stick. And Jaska has it back for the Finns. Olli Mata. This finishes 11th NHL season. Drops that back for Matala. Up to Bjornanen. Drops back to Jorka. Wiped out by Tanev. And now McBain back with it. In comes McBain. A bouncing puck goes back to the corner for Matala. And McBain steps into him. Tanev launches himself into Mata. You talked about in the first period about Canada working themselves back into the game down 2-0.
They're moving their feet, and then from that turns into winning more physical battles, and then you're making plays. And now it's an even game, as it should be.
Manalainen chipped that, but not out. Mercer plays it back in. And Severson goes after it for Canada. Damon Severson drops it back to Hagel with a shot, and Satari makes the save. Hagel to Gouli. He fires. That's deflected away by Mata. And Dubois on the line kept that alive, but it's brought back by Mata. And Olli Mata fires that back down to the Canadian zone, picked up by Manalainen. Canada's got Switzerland tomorrow night. As Maki shoots, that goes wide on the other side. They score! Yes, Puljujärvi's got his second, and Finland has the lead back.
Puljujärvi continues his very strong tournament. Finland has generated a lot of their offense for the blue line. Brandon Hagel tries to help with the puck battle on the side of the boards, and that leaves his defenseman wide open. And then it's a fortunate bounce, but this Mackey gets the T1 up there because there's no winger near him, as Hagel had dropped down to the hash marks to help out Severson on Manalainen. And it's a good box out by Gouli. It's hard to read a carom off the back glass to the far side. And Jesse Puljujärvi is second of the night.
Third of this World Championship. He last played in the 2017 World Championship for the Finns. Here's Kapanen with it now. Oliver Kapanen spins back. But back to Oksanen. Now it's gloved down by Paul, and we've got a jousting match in front of the Canadian goal. Puljujärvi in the middle of it. Alexiuk as well. Puljujärvi is incensed. 3-2, Finland lead.
Because now it's your showtime. Hello, are you ready? Is it your showtime? Yeah! Okay. Stairs are yours. And now, arena is yours as well. Let's
3
Major penalty is under review.
So a major penalty is being looked at here.
On who? Byram and Pugliarvi. They both give each other the cup check. I mean, Byram certainly does it more obviously, but Pugliarvi had done it first. Now,
I'm guessing they're looking at Byram here.
well, Pugliarvi does it right there first. So that's
They called a major.
they didn't say who. They did it. They did the same thing as basically to each other. Pugliarvi was reacting to the more obvious stick infraction by Byram. This is a massive moment because
Right.
the five is
Referee Sean McFarland on the left, Andre Schrader on the right.
Byram certainly does it with plenty of gusto right there. Is that worth a major?
Generally in the IIHF, they will call that a 5.
Pugliarvi right here goes first, and Byram returned the favor harder. And it may be a classic case of you get the retaliation penalty, not the first infraction. The rest of this is incidental, all the scrumming and mucking around.
All right, so got the call from Sean McFarland.
Canada, major and gate for slashing. Finland, number 13, minor roughing.
So Byram gets 5 in a game. We call it a slash. And Pugliarvi gets 2.
Oh, Byram looks generally confused, but more in that is not how that exchange would be called in the NHL. Almost ever.
No.
That would be 2 each for roughing. But
here,
we're not in the NHL.
Yeah,
And that's, you got to recognize that.
That's pretty routine in the IIHF. Any deliberate kind of spear like that with a spear or a slash, whatever you want to call it.
So it should be, what, 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. And then Pugliarvi steps out for a 5-on-4 power play for 3 minutes, in which Finland can score as many goals as they want without it expiring.
And the power play will straddle the second intermission.
Right, they get 90 seconds at the end of the second and 90 seconds to begin the third. Also means Olin Zellweger is going to get a regular shift playing. There are only now 6 defensemen dressed for Canada.
So it's 4-on-4 for 2. I don't see 4-on-4 very often anymore in the IIHF. They got rid of the 4-on-4 for coincidental minors. They say 5-on-5 for that. Off the face off, power racing to it. Ginala. Picked free by Cousins. Away comes Cousins, dropping it back. To Mangiapane. Across to Pareko, Mangiapane. Winds his way in, the move around Granlund. Mangiapane falls. Ginala has it back. So 3-4-on-3 now for the Finns until Mangiapane gets back into play, and now he does. Fluttered back down to the Canadian zone. Cousins lost that to Ginala. And now it's picked up by Pareko. Colton Pareko gains center ice, moves it across the line, drops it off to Cousins. Back in front for Power with a shot, scores! Owen Power on the 4-on-4, and the game is tied at 3.
Little 4-on-4 open things up, and Owen Power takes advantage. Nice passing play from start to finish, from all the way behind their own net. Dylan Cousins wins a battle. Pareko lumbers up when he goes lateral play to Cousins. Here's the play right here. He's got to go through the feet of the Finnish defender onto the forehand of Power. And Cousins able to do that through Kapanen. That's a nice release. That is a no backswing, quick flick. Blocker side release for Owen Power to tie the game.
First goal for Power at the senior level in the World Championship or the Olympics. He played in both for Canada. Remember when he played in 2021? His first game, he had a 3-second shift in the first period. By the gold medal game, he played more than any skater on either team in the third period. He was draft eligible that year.
Part of the reason why he went first. Performance in that tournament.
Gerard Gallant, the Canadian coach, said before the tournament, not sure what we have here. We think he's pretty good, but he's a young kid. And by the end, he was the anchor of that Canadian defense as Canada won gold in overtime against the Finns. Now Parayko has that knocked away. Kudu taken down by Parayko. The referee says play on. There's 30 seconds to go on the Puljujärvi penalty.
You'd like possession because you don't want Zellweger out there killing penalties if it happens to expire before they get it out of their own end.
Now Zellweger winds it back out. Here comes Dubois with Tavares. John Tavares with it. Has Sathari down. Jam play at the side of the goal, and Sathari turns that away.
Is the wraparound on the scouting report? Because that's about the third one they've tried.
Now Dubois has it taken away by Manalainen. Puljujärvi steps back on. And Finland's on a 3-minute power play. Manalainen.
Dubois tired. He should have changed.
Puljujärvi back out there. There's Bjorninen.
There's too many guys out there. There are too many guys out there. There are 6 Finnish players on the ice.
There were. They missed it. It was long.
That was 10 seconds of 6-on-4.
And a minute to go now in the period. 2.5 in the power play. Pakarina drops that back to Inala for Lehtinen. Back across to Oxenden. Shoots. He missed high. And it bounces back to the Canadian zone.
Fortunate break for Finland as they were not near the bench. They were well in the play.
Pakarina. Don't draw attention to yourself.
You can't scramble back too fast. That's exactly it.
Granlund plays it back around to Inala. 30 seconds to go in the period. At the line, held by Lehtinen. Mercer knocks that down, hacks at it, and finds Hagel short-handed on Lehtinen. In comes Brandon Hagel. Pivots back with Canada changing, and Hagel throws that back to Alexiak. And Alexiak bounces that back down to the Finnish zone as Tanev gets there first. Tanev trying to center that for McBain. And as time winds down, it's brought back by Inala. Inala throws it across to Pakarinen. And the Finns will have a minute and 29 seconds of power play time to carry over into the third period. It's a 3-3 tie between Canada and Finland after 40.
Shouldn't be surprised that it's close, that it's been back and forth. Canada showed some good character battling back from tough situations and see if they can't kill a penalty and take the lead for the first time in this game in the third period.
You're watching the 2024 World Hockey Championship from Prague.
6 goals in 2 periods, great achievement. And now, here are the key statistics of the second period.
světa ve Franění. Raiffeisenbank, samozřejmě.
A nyní prosím, políbte nevěstu.
Okay, is it Canada or is it Finland? Come on, Canada, you can. Your cooperation. Let's make entire arena cheering.
Lion, 5 minut plus osobní trest do konce utkání, sedání.
In front, we're good, no crease. You're good. Nick, you're good in front. Yep, you're right on top. You're good. Yep, I'll keep talking.
Bud, hey, man, let's go. Thanks, man, appreciate it, let's go. They took an icing, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Sticks down, boys. Loose.
Číslo 4, Lion, 5 minut plus osobní trest do konce utkání, sedání. 8 meters dokonce utkání sekání. Paul Bayern 5 minut plus 8 meters dokonce utkání sekání. 5 minut plus 8 meters dokonce utkání sekání. Paul Bayern 5 minut plus 8 meters dokonce utkání sekání.
Four options. I believe that the Canadian fans remember the victory 5-1 against Denmark. 98 correct answers. Second question for you. Who is the captain of Team Finland? Well, kind of a tricky one. He is a living and playing legend. Mikael Ekkonen, Mikael Granlund, Olli or Oliver Kapanen. Four options. You're in a search for Finnish captain of Suomi, Mikko Mikael Olli or Oliver, and obviously it is Mikael Granlund, a legendary captain. Final question, and to decide the winner. Which of the following equipment you do not use in ice hockey? What you don't need? You see four pictures, and I think that it's pretty easy to find one that you really do not use in the world of ice hockey. And it is, yes, it is the fourth option, 200 right answers. Congratulations to those of you who were right. And we will find out who was the quickest one. We do have a winner, and the winner is Danny. So in case you are D and Y, then we got your prize at the information desk behind the Circle 101. Jestli jste Danny, Salomato, tak na vás je nachystána cena. Na informací hned za světlem 101 je vám k dispozici a gratulujeme tomu nejrychlejšímu, či té nejrychlejší. Pochopitelně my ještě předtím, než odstartujeme další třetinu zde utkání Kanada-Finsko, tak se musíme pochopitelně podívat i do Ostravy, kde se hraje jubilejní 40. zápas letošního mistrovství světa IIHF v lední hokeji. Německo vede po dvou třetinách na Polském 2. As you can see, after 2 periods, Team Germany is in the lead against Poland, and we'll see if Germany will make it to quarterfinals, later on to the semifinals, or like last year, if they can make it to the finals. It's a long journey, I can tell you. Now, back to our Prague game. We're about to reveal the highlights of the second period. Great game, Canada, Finland, 3-0, and these are the highlights. It's time to welcome back to the arena, Team Canada! And also it's time to welcome back on the ice, Team
Jordan Binnington has faced 23 shots this game, allowed 3 goals in this 3-3 tie. Larry Sathary, the Olympic gold medal winner and world champion in 2022, has faced 18 shots and allowed 3. And Finland will start this third period on the power play, the tail end of the 5-minute major to Bowen Byram. A minute 29 to go.
Real opportunity for Finland here. They got to right themselves, collect their game plan during the intermission, try to attack on the fresh ice.
A couple of breaks for Canada. One, the penalty being broken up. First of all, the first 2 minutes to Puljujärvi knocked down to 3.
In which they scored on the 4-on-4.
Canada scored the Dylan Cousins goal 4-on-4, and then, or sorry, the Owen Power goal 4-on-4, and then because it straddles the period, you start at center ice for the first part of the power play in this period. It takes a while to get set up. Brought in by Sarajärvi, and back goes Alexiak for it. Knocked down by Hagel. It bounced right back in front. Kapanen drops that back to Kaski. Oliver Kapanen. At the line, held by Kaski, feeds it back across to Puustinen, who has a goal in this game. Played back across, Kapanen shoots, and the pad save made by Binnington. Breaker with a rolling puck, squeezes that by Kapanen and back down the ice.
Good save, Jordan Binnington. Under control, read it well, nice and tidy.
Germany a 2-0 lead on Poland as they start the third period in Ostrava. Granlund works that back across to Inala.
Good push.
Moved off the puck by McBain.
Well done.
Up ahead to Tanev. And Brandon Tanev, who has a goal for Canada in this game, slides it back down to the Finnish end. Oxenden down towards the goal. A chance up at Bakarina, knocked away by Binnington, who got knocked into the net as Oxenden slid into him.
Imagine that faceoff will come outside as Oxenden jumps on this broken, or Pakarina jumps on this broken play, and Oxenden then goes crashing into fresh ice. Not going to slow you down at all, but I would think that faceoff should go outside. That gets knocked off because Oxenden barrels into Binnington just because he lost an edge. And that's what Brandon Tanev's trying to say.
What about?
And I think the suggestion is Canada tripped Oxenden, that's why he fell, crashing the goalie.
Well, McBain for the face-off against Arttu Huru. One of the 10 Finns making his World Championship debut. That's unusual for them. They have a core of players that played together a long time. Kaski shoots, that's blocked by Tanev. And that took a bite out of Brandon Tanev.
He's tough. Yeah, he's tough.
Final seconds of the power play, loose in front and sent down the ice by Gulli. And Tanev limps back to the Canadian bench. And gets some acknowledgement from his teammates and a visit from the athletic therapist, Tom Nicoletta. Cousins pokes out ahead, knocked down by Mattila. And here is Mattila with it. Out at center ice. Sent back in, and Binnington out to play it. And here's Cousins with it. Bounces back into the Canadian bench. And another shot blocked by Brandon Tanev. He caught that puck on the bench.
He turns his feet sideways, and he takes it right in the base of the foot, ankle. I'm hoping he had shot blockers stitched in the side of his foot. The face says he might not have.
There's Canada's Olympic brain trust on the right. GM Doug Armstrong, on the left, Coach John Cooper. They were to be together in Beijing, but NHL players didn't go. There'll be a Four Nations tournament next year run by the NHL during the All-Star break. Canada, USA, Finland, Sweden. And the Olympics in Italy in 2026.
A little appetizer before the Olympics. The players will be delighted to get even a quasi best-on-best moment in February next year.
Now the question being asked by the Finns and Swedes is it only open to NHL players, the Four Nations tournament next year? Do you have to be an NHL player? Because there are some players in their countries who aren't in the NHL that might be considered for national teams.
I think the sentiment is yes, it's going to be an NHL-run tournament.
Here's Parayko with it, which is why there was Team North America and Team Europe in the World Cup in 2016 to get as many NHL players in as possible. Tavares shoots and fired that wide. Parayko back with it. Down to Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois winds in. Dubois still with it, shoots. That deflected wide, and Mata back with it. Olli Mata being shadowed there by Hagel. And Puustinen swings back. Jesper Matila wires that down to the Canadian zone. It skips up in the air and now knocked free by Alexia. And here's Paul with it. Nick Paul brings it up. Rink wide pass for Bedard, too far for him. And now Lehtinen back with it. Later tonight, it'll be Czechia here against Great Britain. And France takes on Slovakia in Ostrava. Earlier today, Sweden beat Latvia 7-2, scoring a World Championship record 3 goals in 26 seconds in that game.
To break it over, it was tied at the time. Went from 2-2 to 5-2 in half a minute.
Someone who went to the beer stand would be disappointed when they got back. What? McBain just missed Reeson in there. Now back to pick it up is Gooley. Plays it back around for Greg. And Mercer came in hard on Kasky. Long lead pass for Mercer. He was poke checked there by Huru. And picked up by Kasky. Finland opened this tournament with a shootout loss to Czechia. As Huru shoots and fired that wide, it was scoreless through 3 periods and overtime. But the Czechs finally won it in the shootout. And the joke was the Finns even dumped it in during the shootout. Sat back and played defensively in that. Lead pass for Mangiapane. Got a stick on that, so there's no icing. Sariarvi goes back, and now it's picked up by Mangiapane. In comes Bunting after it. Bunting pokes it free, jumping up his own power. Down to Mangiapane. Picked out by Bunting. 5 gone here in the 3rd period. Canada's got Switzerland tomorrow night. Finns play Denmark on Monday, and then Switzerland on Tuesday. So the big 3 on this side are all going to tangle with each other in the next few days.
Which is making my standings brain a little bit muddied, as you're not quite sure how this is going to shake out. It looks like Czechia, Canada, and Switzerland are going to be okay, as you see 2 young goal-scoring stars. Oliver Kapanen, what a tournament for him. 6 already, and Connor Bedard with 5. It's been a quiet game for Connor Bedard. Have not seen him around the puck as much as usual.
Kapanen's 20, Bedard 18. Moved back by Dubois to the point to Power. And Hagel had to leave that. Here's Mata with it. Teams can continue to add players as long as they have A, an open roster spot, or B, an injury that's approved by the IIHF Medical Commission. The Finns are full up right now. They have 3 goalies and 22 skaters named. Canada does have an extra roster spot. There's a quick shot by Manalainen, stopped by Binnington. The Czechs have 2 skater spots open now. Natchez arrived today from Carolina, waiting on David Pastrnak and Pavel Zacha from Boston to see if they'll come. I would think Pastrnak comes, don't you?
I would anticipate him flying tomorrow night, arriving Monday, playing Tuesday, playing the last week.
Granlund winds in. Granlund with a chance. Hammered that wide. Rebound loose in front. Binnington comes across on that. McCann around to Alexiuk. That's picked up by Granlund. Kyle Granlund. Rink wide to Lehtinen. Winds and shoots. And that was blocked by McCann. Brought out by Paul. Rink wide pass is chopped down. Bedard couldn't get to it. And here is Vinismäki. In behind the goal, Veli-Matti Vinismäki. And 3 straight Finnish titles with Tapara. Now knocked back to Lehtinen and shoots. It bounces out wide. And Mercer back on it. Tapara coached this year by Rikard Gronborg, the longtime Swedish national coach who'd been in Switzerland previously. Now reaching for it is Severson, that's knocked away. Kapanen had it bumped away by Tanev, who's back out there after blocking that shot. Lehtinen. Knocked down by Zellweger. And you mentioned Olin Zellweger figures to get a regular shift now in the game defense with Byram ejected at the line. Bunting couldn't knock that down. Picked up by Puljujärvi. He's got 2 so far today. Yes, to Puljujärvi. Swings that back down to Huru. Koski with it. Another bad bounce in that corner. That's where the ice crew comes out to clean the ice during stoppages. And we've seen a number of times the puck rung around there and bounce straight out. Now Bunting trying to work that free. Bunting back on it. Picked out by Cousins. For Mangiapane, a bouncing puck. Mangiapane reaching for a penalty coming. It's going to be a holding call, or high sticking rather, against Bjornen, and Canada's going to the power play.
And now gets ready for the cheers in the giant screen. You can see 2,000 rubber glasses. Grab yours and show us how you can cheer. And then you can collect your prizes and remain at the official fountain. But now it's time to teach you how to cheer. Here it's up to you.
Yeah, now is perfect time to choose. Or if you want it finished, let's say keepies.
Okay, and now we're in search of our 2 competitors who can cheer as well. Enter slowly. Okay, 2 of you, where are you? Okay, now it's time to cheer, ladies. Cheers. Do it together. Okay, yes. Okay, congratulations to the 2 members of Super Fitness, Nate and Desiree in the official zone.
Finland 24, minor down, ice sticking.
High sticking call against Hannes Bjornen. It was a big part of the Finnish penalty kill. And Canada's back on the power play. First, it's early in the period. A quick shot there by Tavares, turned away by Satari.
Finland get all swarmed in on the face-off dot. Tavares wide open. All power taking a run on the power play here with Byram not in the lineup.
Ball got knocked off the puck. It bounces back into the feet of Power, who has a goal in the game, up for Tavares. John Tavares flips that for Paul. Throws it back in front. And Mangiapane was knocked down. Couldn't get a shot away as it's sent back down to the Canadian zone.
They get a setup here. Got to get a zone entry and a setup.
Tavares lays that back across to Power. Flips it ahead to Paul. Paul trying to drop that back. At the line, Cousins holds it. Threads that pass ahead to Paul for Tavares. A bouncing puck knocked away from Tavares. Pakarinen has it back for Finland. And back down to the Canadian zone. Power goes back. And Jaska gave him some trouble. Now Cousins has it. And away comes Bunting. Rink wide, he goes for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois on it. Works that back to McCann as Canada gets set up. Down to Dubois, walks it and shoots, missed short side. Cousins back with it. To the point he goes to Zellweger. Olin Zellweger skips back down to Dubois. Huru off the boards but not out. Good hold there by Zellweger. And now Dubois races to the bouncing puck. Pokes it back around to McCann. Jared McCann to the goal mouth for Dubois. That's knocked down, and Manalainen sends it back down the ice. Here is Zellweger. Anaheim's second-round pick. Western Hockey League Defenseman of the Year and a CHL Defenseman of the Year last year. Now a bouncing puck picked up at the line by Zellweger. Back across to Dubois. Final second of the power play. Dubois feeds it down to McCann. Bjornen steps back on. That pass missed Dubois. Mangiapane steps up. He's tied up in the corner. Dubois down low looking for a pass, but now Zellweger has to retreat with Bjornen and bearing in on him. Back goes Parayko for it. And Bjornen collide. The only fresh Finnish player on the ice is Bjornen out of the penalty box. And now Parayko moves in. Colton Parayko. Pivots back along the board. Slants that back down to McBean. He and Tanev crisscross. Canada jam play, side of the goal, chance in front for Mercer. That deflected away off the stick of Inola. Jormaka tying up along the boards. McBean trying to work that free. Now Tanev kicks it back. And a shot by Alexic was blocked. Tanev plays it back in for McBean. Heavy shift here for Canada. Mercer winds across the top off the bench. A shot by Hagel deflected away. And Hagel back on it. But Granlund took that away from him. And Hagel careful with his stick there. As McBean flips that back down to the finish end. Mangiapane watching Koski got a stick on that puck. And Ahuru has it back for the Finns. Puljujarvi chips that down, bouncing puck into the glove of Jordan Binnington. 8:45 to go here in the third period. Canada and Finland tied at 3.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, a wonderful number. We're always expecting it every game in Prague Arena and also in Ostrava Arena. Today's attendance for the game between Canada and Finland is 17,303. Thank you so much for your support. This is amazing number.
.45 to go in the third period. Canada and Finland tied at 3. The Finns won the game 2-0 early in the first. Canada came back to tie it. Finns grab the 3-2 lead. Canada equalized again. 3 of the last 4, by the way, between the two teams have gone to overtime. Off the face-off, won by Tavares, and Dubois has it. And Pierre-Luc Dubois banks that down to the finish end as Hagel goes after it. Now picked up by Dubois in front for Tavares. He's got him down. They score! Tavares to Hagel. And Canada has the lead for the first time.
Coach has seen that a few times. Brandon Hagel had a great year for Tampa and John Cooper this past season. And he is the recipient of a tidy pass, but it's a soft chip, strong side pressure. Hagel starts it, wins a puck race, ties it up, and then outnumbered an attack. Dubois over to Tavares. How about this little pass? Oh, there he is. Like, that is a tight angle for a lefty.
Right.
To chuck in the net, but Tavares had full faith not to shoot it. This is an intentional pass. There he is. Just slide it over, and Hagel gives Canada their first lead of the game.
With 8:28 to go, so back and forth they go here in Prague. Canada was reeling in the first period, down 2-0, outshot 12-0. Now a lead pass for Mangiapane. Mata knocked that away. Cousins sweeps that back into the finish zone, and Dylan Cousins goes after it. Hagel scored 26 this year for Tampa, had 30 the year before. They gave up a boatload to get him from Chicago and then signed him to a big contract that starts next year. Now let's turn over to Bjornanen, held by Puustinen. And Pareko with it. Bunting digs at the center ice from Mangiapane, rink wide for Power as Canada's changing. And Owen Power waits and swings that back down to the finish end. Jaska has it broken up by McCann. And McCann being harassed there by Kapanen sends it back down to the finish end. Sathri plays it back around to Vitas Maki. And here is Lehtinen. Back goes Alexiak for it. Back around to McCann, lifts that back to center ice. Glove down by Riikola. Finn suffered a heartbreaking loss on Thursday as Manalainen works it in. A 2-0 lead in the third period evaporated. They lost 3-2 on the final tick of the clock as that shot goes wide. Jormika back on it. Plays it back to Riikola, who fans on that shot. Finns are 2-1-1 so far. They've got Denmark on Monday, Switzerland on Tuesday. Now back at the point, here's Kaski. Slaps it back across. Riisanen shoots. It goes off the foot of Tanev again. And he's grimacing again. Now Riisanen lost the puck. Tanev pokes that ahead. It was almost off to the races. Now Severson gathers it back up as Tanev once again limps back to the Canadian bench. Gets pats on the back. And a look over from the therapist. You all right?
Same as last time.
Yeah.
He will be fine.
Lead pass for Tavares just missed, and the faceoff will come back down to the Canadian zone.
Canada was down 3-2 and Owen Power in a 4-on-4 situation. Tied it up, and then this is just textbook forecheck. Hagel draws two, then beats them both back to the front of the net and ends up scoring the goal on a three-way forward line forecheck to give Canada their first lead of the game.
Here's Parikko with it. Zellweger gunners it up along the boards. Held by Vitismaki. Now poked up by Tavares. Rink wide pass for Dubois. And Pierre-Luc Dubois swings that down to the Finnish zone. A number of players come here, Mike, for different reasons, but some come to maybe wash the taste out from a bad year. And we've seen a number of players do it and then carry it over a good year the next year. Nick Paul did that, scored the overtime goal for Canada, the golden goal in 21, and carried it right over the next season. And maybe Pierre-Luc Dubois doing the same thing. That long shot by Puljujärvi is knocked away by Bennington. A down year in LA after the trade, the new contract. At the point, Lehtinen holds. Walks it in, shoots off the end of Bennington's glove and wide. Mata has it taken away by Cousins on his backhand, flips it back out to center ice. Inside 5 to go here in the third period. Canada is 4-0 as Bunting works in, drops it back, and a hard shot by Paul goes off a stick up and out of play. 4:43 to go here in the third period. Canada with a 4-3 lead.
Hello, I'm here with Brady from Canada, and Brady has a job to do, and it's to guess the song from the DJ. You ready, Brady? Okay, he's ready. So DJ, let's play the song. You ready again? No idea. So DJ, make it different, please. What do you think, Rich? Still idea. So please, DJ, be gentle. I have to say sorry. Something like that. I have to say sorry. Sorry, are you singer? Yeah, sorry. Justin Bieber.
4-3, Canada leads. The go-ahead goal scored by Brandon Hagel here in the third period.
And you can pick one of the cards.
His second of this World Championship.
Yeah, so let's see. It's a beautiful blue official
Paul for the face-off against Bjornanen.
Thank you. See you
Paul
later.
hits that so cleanly, it gets by Alexiak. Already a lot of Czech fans in the building today, getting set to watch their team against Great Britain tonight. The Czechs will get reinforcements pretty soon here as Martin Necas has arrived, and the question is how many more are coming. Long lead pass for Bedard that was knocked down by Sarajärvi. Now Bjornanen crunched there by McCann. Gouli leaves it back there for Alexiak. Battling behind the Canadian goal, Gouli. Up ahead, Bjornanen tied up by Gouli. Here's Manalainen back with it. And And Bedard gets to it. Connor Bedard flips it ahead for Paul. Lead pass for McCann missed.
Some serious poise by Bedard there coming off the boards. A little touch pass in the middle.
Granlund tries to poke that back ahead. Now back in front. Pecorino, the backhand shot that goes wide. Here's Leighton back on it. Granlund tied up by Tavares. Now Granlund knocked down by Tavares. Gathers the puck back up. Moves back in, shoots, Binnington the save. Power back on it, high off the glass and to the line, but not out. Puljujarvi swings that back in for Granlund. As this top line goes back to work for the Finns. Power, tied up by Pecorino. Tavares lost the puck. Now Pecorino back on it, being leaned on there by Parayko. Back at the point, it's squirted by Mata and back down the ice. 3 to go here in the third. Both teams change. Mata back around to Kaski. Lead pass to Puustinen. Bank that back around for Jaska. On his backhand, McBain tried to flip that ahead. Mercer on it. And now McBain just squeezed that by Mata and back down to the Finnish blue line. Mata with it. Up ahead for Huru. Flip back down to the Canadian zone as Alexiak goes back. Bouncing puck at the side of the goal. Binnington down. And Bunting works that free. Cousins to the line but not out. Held by Puustinen. There's Jaska with it. Throws it back in front. A point blank shot by Huru. Turned away by Binnington.
That's the one they needed. First grade A chance in a while. Binnington gets a blocker on it.
Lead pass to Bunting with the Finns changing. Bunting shoots and Santori blocks that away. Mangiapane back on it. 2 to go here in the third.
2 minutes left in this third period.
Here is Leighton being watched by Mangiapane. We'll keep an eye on Santori in the Finnish goal as Bjornen works ahead. They're holding him for now. That plays offside at the Canadian blue line.
What a stop by Binnington. Canada gets caught below the goal line. Here's the first backhand. Fought off. Pecorino tries to go glove side. This one right here, though, really a little late to it. And another one just off the elbow. Binnington has bounced back in a big way from a.
And now the Finns call timeout. 1:49 to go. Jukka Jalonen, the head coach of the Finnish team, was inducted to the Finnish Ice Hockey Hall of Fame in 2012. Since then, he's won World Junior Gold, 2 World Championships, and Olympic Gold. So there has to be an auxiliary at the Hall of Fame.
The Super Hall of Fame.
The Super Hall of Fame. Yes. He has coached all over the place.
So Canada's got under 2 minutes here, face off in the neutral zone. And a timeout to work with, depending on what you want to do.
And Tavares to take the face off.
This is probably the line you want out there in any situation, but with 1:49 left, they can't play the rest of the game. So you're thinking about who's going to be next. And probably McBain's group, Tanev and Mercer. You're going to face off here, you can kill off about 25 seconds of this right now.
Bjornen's been a go-to guy for the Finns on face-offs in multiple World Championships and Olympics. Parayko pokes that back. Here's Kaski with it. Santori inching out of the Finnish goal as Puljujarvi sends it in. And off comes Santori, on comes Puustinen. Granlund lost the puck to Hagel for a moment. Now Mikael Granlund with it. Bumped there by Hagel. Back to the point to Kaski, who holds the line. Kaski back across to Puustinen, a hard shot. And Parayko in front, and Parayko lifts it high in the air and back down to the Finnish zone. And they're going to call that icing. And the face-off back down to Canadian end. 1:22 to go. And Tavares still out there for Canada to take the draw.
Parayko wasn't trying to ice that. He was trying to flip it to the neutral zone. There's Tavares now. He's been out there for 25 seconds. Still should have enough to play a sequence in the defensive zone. Face-off so important now. Bjornen and both lefties. Bjornen gets to go on his stronger side, pulling to the boards on his backhand.
And Tavares wins it. Parayko Try to bank that back. Bjornanen plays it back at the point for Koski, who's tied up there by Dubois. Picked out by Tavares, and John Tavares swings it ahead for Hagel. He lost an edge. And now Granlund picks it back up. Canada starts a change as Granlund brings it out. Hagel got a stick on him. Back goes Parayko for it. Minutes to go now in the third period. Parayko with time. Banks it to the line. Puustinen held it, but it's knocked out by Hagel. He needs off and makes his way to the Canadian bench. Puustinen lifts it back ahead. Now Alexiuk turns and goes back for it. And that's icing against the Finns.
Wow.
That was a microscope used to detect that.
Gotta be sure of your decisions. And yeah.
Well, you know what?
7-8 feet. Brandon Tanev was right on it. There are his hands up in the air. And I don't know if the officials were on it. They just reacted to Tanev's call, and it was the right one. So Sateri back into the net. 44 seconds here.
McBain 6-1 on draws in the first two periods.
You're not going to be doing very much. If you win it back, you're just going to dump it back in the corner regardless. Get yourself an extra 7 seconds off the clock.
Wins it back to Power. Lobs that ahead to Mercer. And Mercer tries to ring that back around. He's tied up there. But the puck at the end where the Canadians won it. Now finally picked up by Puljujärvi. Takes a return pass from Kapanen. Lead pass for Koski jumping in. Power stripped him of the puck. And Power lifts it ahead. He's got Mercer. The Finns are changing. Dawson Mercer's in. Scores! And Canada has a 5-3 lead on Dawson Mercer's second goal of the tournament. Both scored in empty nets.
They don't ask how. Maybe they do. But the fact is, you're out there at the end of the game because your coach trusts you.
Right.
Trust your line, which says something. And how about the defensive effort by Canada? Well, they've had a lot of trouble. And the first 7-8 minutes of this game, they had a lot of trouble. The next 52, really, really well done by Canada. Even at the end, they're holding the blue line, backtracking, turning pucks over, better on clears. Just all around a much sharper game defensively. And no panic.
Nope.
Down 2-0, down shots 12-0. Able to rally back all the way.
Dawson Mercer from Bay Roberts, Newfoundland.
Goal for Team Canada, scored by number 18.
Gives Canada a 2-goal lead, and Canada's going to improve its record to 5-0 at this World Championship. There have been some bumpy moments, but the standings don't have room for descriptions. And the Finns fall to 2-1 as Canada wins it 5-3.
Canada likes to build in this tournament. They understand it's a process, a bit of a journey, continual improvement, try to get stronger, try to get better. Today's game was a massive step in the right direction for a team that played today like a team that could play in the next weekend, compete for another gold if they play it like that, and if Binnington is as solid as he was for the latter parts of the game.
We'll get the player of the game presentations and then the Canadian anthem. Later tonight, it'll be Czechia and Great Britain here, France and Slovakia in Ostrava, Germany with a 4-2 lead on Poland late in the third period in Ostrava.
Really sets up a big one against Switzerland tomorrow. Likely the winner, if it's in regulation, is going to get first in the group. Not quite guaranteed, but likely.
The best players of each team will be awarded by IIHF International, the official sponsor of the 2024 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The prizes will be presented by Head of International Retail Marketing of IIHF International, Henrietta Arslanova, and the General Secretary of 2024 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship Organizing Committee, Mr. Vladimir Shavazi. Best player of Team Finland, number 13, Jesse Puljujärvi.
Scored twice in the game, including the opening goal of the contest, as the Finns had a 2-0 lead, 3 minutes and 51 seconds in.
He's playing really well, moving better than we've seen him move in a long time.
Best player of Team Canada, number 22, Dylan Cousins.
It was Cousins who scored to get Canada on the board in the first period. Also drew an assist on the tying goal late in the second period by Owen Power. And he just continues to play well in red and white with black trim.
Solid player, makes a lot of solid plays.
Dear all, please rise if you're able to for the national anthem of winning team, the national anthem of Canada. But we'd like to thank all the fans from Suomi. Thank you, Finland! And if you're looking forward to the next game, you should, because exactly at 8:20, there will be the final game of today's schedule. Czechia and Great Britain. In case you're the ticket holders, please exit the arena and re-enter so you will not miss any second out of the pre-game program. Najmálé se držitelé a majitele lístků na nadcházející za týden sobotního programu, který na utkání Česko, Velká Británie, prosím pokusit se vyjednají a vstupte znovu, aby vám netrklo nic podstatného, včetně jedné velké české premiéry. Máte si na srdečně díky moc, že společně předpisujeme rekordní zápis světové hokeje. Díky moc se to nejlepší publikum, za chvíli se uvidíme. Have a great evening!
Brandon, Canada was in a 2-0 hole 4 minutes into this game. What stood out to you about the team's response?
Yeah, obviously, maybe we underestimated a little bit, but the response was incredible. We were able to come back, settle it down, and I think from there on out, we kind of took over.
You've won a gold medal with Canada at the World Championship before, that being in 2021. That game was against Finland. What did that game teach you about the style of play?
Yeah, it's obviously a lot different when you come over and play. These guys are together. A lot of them are together for long periods of time, and they play a different way, and you got to adapt to it, and I think we were able to find a way later.
You had a really successful season with Tampa, 26 goals. After your regular season ended, why did you want to come over here and represent Canada once again at the World Championship?
Yeah, I think for myself, obviously I've already won it before, so I don't really need to come over, but anytime you get the opportunity to represent your country and go out there and battle for your country, I think that's one thing I always want to do, so it was a no-brainer.
Thank you. Congrats on the win.
Thanks.
Yes, not the final result you wanted, but let's talk about the start for Finland, jumping out to an early 2-0 lead. What did you like about the way you just jumped out of the gate?
Yeah, I mean, we was 100% ready right away. We get those couple goals what we wanted, but then we a little lose after that, and Canada tied the game, and then was again new game.
Canada and Finland have met in the gold medal game at this tournament 3 of the last 4 years. What stood out to you today about the defending gold medalists?
Yeah, I mean, both have good players, and yeah, I mean, it's always tough.
You're right back at it. Denmark now on Monday. What is the focus now as you approach the final 2 games, the preliminary round?
So, speak Finnish? No ei, nyt pitää sitten jatkaa vaan tästä, ei auta kun voittaa no pari seuraavaa peliä, että sillä lailla.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, kiitos.
Go, boys. What a long walk that is. That's the hardest part of the game. Yeah. Really. Set player of the game. That's my centerman. That's my centerman. Yes, sir. Holy. That's my roommate. Rally. Good job, boys. Fight the right. Bucket right, Benner. Who bends? Who bends? What, Benner? Get serious in there, kid. Oh my God.
Check. Here we go.
Hello,
All set?
hello.
Are we ready?
Hang on. Get my stuff together here. All right. Sort of.
Thank you. Here we go. In 5. Well, the talk before this game was about Canada's defensive record, the worst save percentage of the tournament. They're down 2-0 less than 4 minutes in. The shots were 12-0 Finland at one point in that first period. What changed it?
Well, they started to move, they started to compete, they started to get into the forecheck game, but you would have thought after the first 6-7 minutes it could have been a really difficult night. And so from that point on, though, Team Canada played by far their best hockey of the tournament, starting from the goaltender on out. Jordan Binnington was solid, wasn't super busy when he had to make big saves throughout the game, and certainly late in the game he was able to do it. The defense, even without Bowen Byram, who was kicked out of the game with a 5-minute major stick foul,
was much more solid, better at clears, better at clearing the front of the net, and the forwards were able to string passes together, get in on the forecheck, possessing the offensive zone, score 4 goals against Finland, which had only given up 4 in the entire tournament prior to this game. It was top to bottom a much better effort, and the template for how Canada will have to play going forward against Switzerland, against Czechia, quarterfinals, and beyond. If they play that well and get good goaltending, they are absolutely, once again, a gold medal contender.
And next up, another heavyweight showdown against the Swiss on Sunday.
Please be aware of serious injury from pucks and other objects being brought out in respect to anger.
Okay, and now we're in search of our 2 competitors who can Today's attendance for the game between Canada and Finland is 17,000.